So Frank, as someone that's had as dynamic a life as you have and lived many lifetimes through many different communities, you certainly could take the stance of, I am going to go do my art, which we can see on the walls behind you, something that you're actively involved in. You've also said that you're fully engaged with your granddaughters, and that would be enough. That would be a contribution of a positive nature to this existing world. But the election of Donald Trump actually has called you to something else. So can you talk a little bit about that and exactly where that leads you at the moment?
I would say it's exactly what you just said. I am at a stage of life where I am into my grandchildren. I am into my grandchildren. And so this summer, I spent a month building the biggest swing set you've ever seen in your life out of pressure-treated lumber sunk into poured concrete with rebar, because I also am a builder, by the way. It's my hobby. I could build you a house. I mean, I'm a real builder. I may be bragging, but it's true. Precisely because I'm the kind of person who takes a month to build a swing set for a 9-year-old, an 8-year-old, and a 4-year-old, to replace the one that rotted away that their dad, John, who was in the Marine Corps and fought in Afghanistan, used to swing on. I'm also the kind of person who genuinely cares to the point of passion about the world that they are going to enter when I am gone. And I am standing like their guardian angel over them now, and intend to do so in the future by doing my damnedest to not have a woman molesting groper and a Republican Party that's gone along with somebody who is a pathological liar, who disrespects our allies in NATO, is a racist to his core, talks about neo-Nazis saying there are some good folks among them, has switched from ardently pro-choice as a philandering, thrice married, sleep with everything that moves kind of a guy, obviously a Hugh Hefner type of person. Of course he'd be for abortion. And because he wants to have somebody like Ralph Reed bring him Christian votes, says now he's pro-life and appoints justices they want. This guy is a scum. And I have warned my granddaughters against people that stop vans and say, here's candy, get in my car, or teachers that molest them, or priests that molest them, because I'm trying to be a good grandfather. And now I am trying to warn other people saying, listen, you know, I care about my grandchildren, and so I care about this country. And I am going to do whatever I can outside of my studio's paintings, outside of my writing and blogging and speaking and all the rest of it, to practically protect my grandchildren. So it isn't a question of I don't like the guy's politics or I voted a different direction. This is trying to face off an existential threat. This is the reason young airmen signed up to join the British Air Force after Britain declared war on Germany. It wasn't because they were patriots. It's because they knew that they could either get in a Spitfire and fight them over the English Channel, or they could fight them in their backyard with an old shotgun and a pitchfork a month later. And I love my grandchildren. Donald Trump and his regime threaten them literally and personally as if I had a child molester living next to my house. The world that they are creating is one that I am going to fight to my last breath to bequeath them, that is better than a vision of a racist who will take away a child at the border from his mother to make a point and scare brown people from not coming into our country. That is not where I want my grandchildren living. And if I can go back to my old self for a moment, I want them living somewhere informed by the ethics of Jesus Christ, who said, let the little children come unto me, and who pointed at a kind of a reciprocal empathy that is being destroyed by Donald Trump and the Republican Party. So this is nothing to do with politics. I'm just going to be honest. I don't give a crap whether Democrats or Republicans win. But I care about the level of empathy and humanity that's possible in our culture. Not for me, at 66 years old. I've got fewer days ahead than behind, but exactly because of my grandchildren. I want them to be in a world where being polite and kind matters. I don't want them in a world where it's okay to grope females. I have 2 little grandchildren I take to school every day. I don't want them somewhere where a guy can be rich and say, I can get away with anything and this is okay. So it's a question of ethics, and it's a question of humanity, and it is a question of caring for my grandchildren. This is why vote common good matters to me. It has nothing to do with putting a Democrat in Congress or in the White House. It has everything to do with the content of the character of this bozo that Republicans have gone along with, and what it means to collaborate with a man like this. And so for me, the Republican Party is utterly discredited, and it has to be pushed back and taught a lesson. And then maybe we can get a kind of a politics back to normal where we just have ordinary venal politicians instead of this monstrous, unqualified bozo leading our country. And that's a different deal. So I would just say this has nothing to do with politics for me. It's everything to do with the preservation of my family. This is personal.